All right, now that we have VirtualBox installed, let's go ahead and get our Windows 11 development virtual machine set up. So to get started here, I have it already pulled up on my computer, but you want to navigate to https://developer.microsoft.com/ and in my case, the language setting is EN-US /Windows/downloads/virtual machines. I'll go ahead and include the link to this. However, a simple way to get to here is to simply use a search engine and search Windows 11 Development VM Microsoft, and it should bring you to this page. Now that we're on this page, we want to download this virtual machine. In our case, we're going to select VirtualBox. So you click that button right there, and it prompts you to where you want to download it, unless you have it to automatically download to your downloads folder. I'm going to go ahead and start this download to my downloads folder so you can get an idea of how big this is, because it is a pretty substantial zip file. When I look at my downloads here, you can see that this is a 22.1 gig file. So you're going to have to give it some time, especially based on your network speeds. Now, I already downloaded this preemptively, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this download here, and I will show you where I put this. So drag this over here, and I have a few things that I've been doing with Pentest Mag and Hackin9 previously, but I just decided I'm going to throw it in this location. You can put it wherever you want, just make sure that you have the appropriate amount of space. Okay, that's incredibly important. Now, with that being said, we have the zip file fully downloaded after waiting, the period of time to get that done. So you can right click, and you want to extract all. So go ahead and left click on extract all, and by default it will extract it in the folder that you are currently in. So I'm going to click extract, and again we will have to wait an appropriate amount of time. So go ahead and just pause the video, let this extract as you did with the download, and then come right on back and we'll complete this setup. All right, now that zip file is extracted, let's go ahead and double click inside the folder that is extracted, and we can double click this file right here. This is an OVA file, which is the Open Virtualization Format Archive. Very convenient for standing up virtual machines. All you got to do is double click on it, and you see it opens up VirtualBox, ready to go. It has a name. If you would like to change that, feel more than free to do so. And you'll see some of the requirements here, or the suggested specifications of this virtual machine, which is 4 CPU cores, 8 gigabytes of RAM. So just keep in mind that your host computer needs to have more than that. It needs to have what you're running for your underlying operating system, and then this on top of it. So therefore, I would recommend a minimum of 8 cores if you're running this, and a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM running this virtual machine. That way you don't suffer as many issues with it, right? Meaning we're going to get some latency issues. We're going to have a little bit of lag. You're dealing with a virtual machine, so, the performance isn't going to be as great. Now, with this, you can just leave it all as is. However, I am going to change my base folder here to being on a different drive. So I'm going to go to Other, and I will select this PC, my D drive, and then I am storing mine in D VirtualBox VMs. So I select that folder, and you see my machine base folder is different. You have to keep in mind that this is a 22.1 gigabyte zip file, right? So that's compressed, that's smaller. Then we extracted it, so you can double that. And then now we're standing up the machine, so it's going to be larger, right? This is a reason why I have secondary, tertiary drives I have multiple drives in my machines to do various things, and then I'm moving mine to the other one. So anyway, that aside, let's click Finish. And you'll see in the top right of VirtualBox that it says Importing Appliance. Again, we have to just sit here and wait. So go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to cut it to the finalization of the import. All right, now that it is successfully imported, let's go ahead and double click on that VM. And we can see that it's powering up. And again, we are going to have to wait a little bit of time as it, loads up everything that it needs. So we see here that the VirtualBox window appeared. All right, let me try to center that a little better. And then you'll see kind of like a little welcome. Just let it sit. Don't worry about it. It'll take a little bit of time. And yes, it will take longer this first time than it will any other time that you start it, right? Because it has to do all of these prerequisite, configurations as it loads up. All right, now with our virtual machine started, we want to do a couple things to make sure that we can get the best performance while we're, going through this course. So inside of here, one of the things, let's try this on the title bar here. Let's double click to maximize it. And this looks like it's working perfectly fine on my machine. There are instances where this doesn't work, and what you have to do, or what you should do, is go up here to Devices in the top left, and then Upgrade Guest Additions. All right, so you click on that, you'll see it says Installing Image in the top right. You will probably see some flashing on your screen as it's just like this, as it's making sure that the video drivers are looking good and other configurations are and compatibilities are being set up. From here, one of the biggest things, and you got to do it. You really got to do this. But go ahead and click the Start menu right here, the Start icon, and then type Update. All right, and then check for those updates. So yes, make sure your development machine is fully updated before we get started. We can click check for updates, but you'll see that there's a download and install right here. Do we want to get the latest updates? Yeah, sure, why not? And it shouldn't hurt anything that we're trying to do. So we'll go ahead and retry this. And if it doesn't work, we can just reboot the machine as well and then try it again. But do make sure that you install your updates, otherwise Assault Cube will not run at all. Like the screen won't show, it'll just be stuck there. You'll lose, the control of your mouse. It's all sorts of problems. So. All right, and even though the retry all didn't work, you see here that once I checked for the updates, it is downloading it. And guess what? Again, we're going to sit around and wait for this to complete. Okay, so we are finished with the download and installation of the updates. And my camera unfortunately decided it was done for this session, so we'll just wrap this up without the camera. Very simply, we need to restart it. You see this one right here is pending that restart, so let's click Restart Now. Okay, so now we have that set of updates completed. Let's just make sure again that there are no further updates. So we'll click that Start button, type Update, check for updates, and check for updates again. And it looks like we are good to go. So this concludes our setup of the Windows 11 Enterprise Evaluation Development VM in VirtualBox. And yes, it's a lot of time to be sitting and waiting around, but that's why we have this Module 0 before we do the live training class. In the next video, we are going to install Assault Cube and make sure that that is up and running. And I'll give you some tips and tricks on the issues that we're going to see, such as the lagging. You know, it's really hard to use. But we'll deal with all that in the next video.